Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast, where I'm a woman on a mission to help you have the Zettelkasten of your dreams on your work table beside you. Well, today's podcast answers a very simple question. Must I index every card? Well, it could be the shortest video in my entire catalog because the simple answer is yes. Of course, the devil is always in the details, and so I've prepared a set of cards over in my down-facing camera to show you why I am so adamant about that. Come on over and I'll show you what I mean. I used to use a lot of title cards and dividers, and that led to a number of entries in my index that turned out to be enormously uninspiring. Here's an example. It was card 1M4B, and it simply said intellectual sloth. Nothing about intellectual sloth. It's scarcely a main card at all. It's just simply a title card marking out a category. Another type of card of this very same nature showed up as dividers, such as this one, 1M2, utilizing the subconscious mind. So what's the difference between this one and this one? When I started running out of these and didn't want to take on the expense of buying another box full of them, I switched to just using index cards with the titles on them. So really, in my world, they're the same thing. But here's where the problem lay. I had the notion that once I had indexed this title card, it wasn't necessary to index everything behind that title card because, well, the title should take care of it. In practice, anything but. This is totally uninspiring. Nothing feels like it's going to go there, and the whole section behind it ended up going rather dormant. So that led to me dissecting this section, which I'm kind of getting finally close to completing, where what I needed to do was go through and index all of the cards, make the directory cards where appropriate so that I have my conversations together, and in general, put the section back in order. No sooner did I do that than cards began to find their way back into this section because now they had something that they could relate to. Because without another card to relate, a section does not grow. So I'm almost finished with this section 1M4 that I've been working on. So let me take a look at the next section, 1M5, supposedly intelligence, AI, in the brain. To do this kind of work, to check whether or not the section has cards that have been indexed, leave an out card where they used to be, and I'll head on over to my index box on the other side here. I see at least one directory card, so that's a good sign. That probably means that at least part of this has been indexed. But let's take a look. The group as a whole. The lead card is 1M5A-1. It has a child card, 1M5A-1A, and that is all. The line ends. Does not need a directory card because it just has one. I don't see a tagline here, and I guess this tagline is Jeff Hawkins, you are your brain. And it's pretty easy to scan down these numbers looking for 1M5A-1. Here's 1M5A-4, 1M5E-1, no 1M5A-1. So that means this card needs to be indexed. So now I'll simply move to the next card. This card is a meditation on scripture, so I'll take care of this one privately because it's kind of got some personal reflection. And I'll go on to this one. This one is from the Jeff Hawkins book on intelligence. Okay, now this book is a little bit on the old side. It goes back to 2004, 20 years ago. So this might well be obsoleted now. But at that point in time, he laments that AI has the shortcoming that it makes no attempt to discover what intelligence actually is. And he calls that AI's fatal flaw. I don't specifically see a tagline here. I see a few words underlined, but I'm not seeing anything that's... Intelligence has a card of its own, but there's no 1M5A-2. So my task now, to be able to index this card, I have to assign it a tagline and then index it. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of work ahead of me just to clean up one more section. Now, it is apparent that partway through the cards are indexed, but there's nothing else to be done for it except to go back through and pick up those cards that were never indexed. If they aren't indexed, they can't interact. If they aren't on a directory card, the dialogue isn't straight in front of me. And so the challenge is that sections like this can just get completely isolated in my Zettelkasten and never have anything added to them. And then in some other remote area, because it's the best link I've got, even if it's tangential, the whole subject area can grow up somewhere else in isolation from one another, which is totally not the point of a Zettelkasten. The point of a Zettelkasten is to be able to merge ideas. So take it from me, it's another one of those mistakes that I made along the way that I would like to spare you from making yourself. So take the time to index every card. If you don't have time to index every card, then be more selective about what goes on to a main card and leave more just simple factoids on a bib card. Or if you have to, then you'll have to leave less important ideas on the bib card. Because if you're not keeping up with your indexing, then you're losing the whole point of your Zettelkasten. So I hope that helps. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.